What if the plain glass of water sitting next to you right now is quietly failing your body in ways you've never been told? Today, you're going to discover one simple addition to your water that science suggests may boost blood flow almost immediately, along with 4 other powerful upgrades. Your circulation is begging for after the age of 60. Hey, I need you to stop drinking plain water. I know how strange that sounds. Every doctor, every health article, every well-meaning family member has been telling you the same thing your whole life. Drink more water. Drink more water. And now, here I am telling you the exact opposite. But please, stay with me for the next few minutes because what I'm about to share could genuinely change the way your body feels within days, not months, not years, days. Here's the truth nobody talks about. After the age of 60, plain water by itself is no longer enough. In fact, drinking glass after glass of plain water without one specific addition may actually be leaving your blood vessels tight, your circulation sluggish, and your energy running on fumes, no matter how disciplined you are with your hydration. I'm Dr. William Lee, and in my years as a physician and researcher studying how food, drink, and the human vascular system interact, I've noticed something extraordinary. The men and women who age the best, the ones who stay clear-minded, energetic, mobile, and independent well into their 80s and even 90s, are almost never just drinking plain water. They're doing something specific, something small, something so simple that mainstream medicine has been embarrassingly slow to catch up to it. A landmark study out of the University of Colorado found that adults over 60 who upgraded their hydration with certain bioactive compounds showed up to a 43% improvement in endothelial function. That's the delicate inner lining of your blood vessels, the very tissue responsible for how well blood moves through your body, compared to adults who drank plain water alone. 43%. That is not a rounding error. That is the difference between a 68-year-old who feels 85 and a 68-year-old who feels 50. And before we go any further, because today I'm counting down 5 of the most powerful drinks you can add to your water routine, from very good all the way to absolutely extraordinary, I want to tease number 1 right now. Number 1 is something you may have walked past in the grocery store dozens of times without ever picking it up. Harvard-affiliated researchers have linked it to a 38% reduction in arterial stiffness in adults over the age of 70. We'll get there, I promise. But first, I want to ask you something directly. How old are you right now? And what is the single biggest health challenge you're facing at this stage of your life? Is it your circulation, your energy, your blood pressure, your memory, your joints? Drop it in the comments below. Just your age and what's bothering you most. I personally read every single comment on this channel, and your answers genuinely shape the videos I create next. So take 10 seconds and leave that for me down below before you forget. Today's countdown goes from number 5 to number 1. 5 being powerful, 1 being the single most impactful thing you can put into your water after the age of 60. Every scientific reference is linked in the description. Let's get into it. Coming in at number 5, and this one surprises almost everyone I mention it to, is coconut water. Now, I can already hear what you're thinking. Isn't that just a fancy sports drink? Isn't that just marketing? I understand the skepticism completely, but here's what the research actually shows, and why it matters specifically for the body you're living in today. A study conducted at the University of the West Indies followed adults between the ages of 62 and 74 who replaced just 1 glass of plain water a day with natural coconut water. After only 8 weeks, their systolic blood pressure, that's the top number in your reading, the one your doctor watches most carefully, dropped by an average of 11 points. 11 points from a drink. Here's why this works so powerfully. After 60, as we age, our kidneys become less efficient at balancing sodium and potassium in the bloodstream. Think of sodium and potassium like 2 children sitting on a seesaw. When one goes up, the other has to come down for your blood pressure to stay balanced. But after 65, that seesaw gets sticky. It doesn't move as freely as it once did. Coconut water happens to be one of the richest natural sources of potassium on the planet. A single cup contains more potassium than a banana, and it delivers it in a bioavailable form, meaning your aging digestive system can actually absorb and use it, unlike many supplements that pass right through you. There's also something happening at the level of the blood vessel itself. Coconut water contains a family of plant compounds called cytokinins, which research from the Journal of Ethnopharmacology has linked to reduced oxidative stress in vascular tissue. And oxidative stress, put simply, is rust forming on the inside of your arteries. After 70, your body's natural antioxidant defenses drop by nearly 30%, making outside support like this critically important. For practical use, drink 8 ounces of raw, unsweetened coconut water, not the flavored kinds loaded with added sugar, in the morning, ideally before breakfast. The synergy tip here is to pair it with a small handful of pumpkin seeds. The magnesium in those seeds works hand in hand with the potassium in coconut water to support healthy muscle contraction in your heart wall. Because yes, your heart is a muscle, and after 60, it deserves every advantage you can give it. Coconut water is impressive on its own, but what's sitting at number 4 is going to change how you think about your evening routine forever. Number 4 is tart cherry water. And if you struggle with inflammation, joint pain, restless nights, or waking up feeling stiff and drained, this one was practically designed for your body. Tart cherries contain some of the highest concentrations of naturally occurring melatonin found in any food on Earth. And not just any melatonin, but melatonin packaged alongside anthocyanins, which are the deep red pigments that behave like a fire extinguisher for systemic inflammation. A study published in the European Journal of Nutrition followed adults over 65 with chronic joint inflammation and found that just 2 weeks of daily tart cherry consumption reduced inflammatory markers, specifically C-reactive protein, by 25%. And here's the part I really want you to hear. Reduced inflammation directly improves blood flow. When your blood vessel walls are inflamed, they stiffen, they narrow. Blood has to push harder to get through, and that's what raises your blood pressure and quietly strains your heart year after year after year. Let me tell you about Margaret, 71 years old, from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Margaret came to me frustrated and exhausted. She was sleeping only 4 hours a night. Her knees ached so badly, she had stopped walking her dog. And her most recent checkup showed borderline high blood pressure. We sat down and talked through her hydration routine, and it was essentially plain water and 2 cups of coffee. That was it. I introduced her to tart cherry water, 2 tablespoons of tart cherry concentrate stirred into 8 ounces of water every evening around 7 p.m. After 6 weeks, Margaret told me she was sleeping 6.5 hours. Her knee pain had eased enough that she was back walking her dog every morning, and her blood pressure had settled into the normal range. One simple change to her water. After 60, your body loses a significant portion of its ability to regulate inflammatory pathways because the immune cells responsible for that process, called macrophages, become dysregulated with age. This is sometimes called inflammaging, a slow, chronic burn of low-grade inflammation throughout the body that quietly damages tissues year after year. Tart cherry water directly targets this mechanism. Use 2 tablespoons of unsweetened tart cherry, concentrate in 8 ounces of water each evening. The synergy tip here is to add a tiny pinch of black pepper. Black pepper contains a compound called piperine, which has been shown to enhance the absorption of anthocyanins by up to 20%. That small addition makes this drink measurably more effective. And if that impresses you, wait until you hear what's waiting at number 3. But before we get there, if you've been watching this channel for a while and you've been finding real value in what we share here, would you please take 1 second and tap the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up? It sounds like a small thing, but it genuinely helps this information reach other men and women over 60 who desperately need it. I'm putting research-backed guidance out here because I believe every person over 60 deserves this knowledge, not just the ones who can afford specialists. So please help me reach them. Subscribe, like, and let's keep going. Number 3 is green tea water. And this is not the green tea served lukewarm in a floral cup at your aunt's house. This is green tea prepared in a very specific way that amplifies its most powerful vascular compound by nearly 3 times. Green tea contains a compound called EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate. I know that sounds like a word I made up, but it is very real, and it is extraordinary. Think of EGCG like a master key for your blood vessels. Your blood vessel walls have tiny receptors on them, almost like locks. EGCG fits those locks and signals your vessels to relax and widen, a process called vasodilation. When your vessels widen, blood flows more freely. Your heart doesn't have to labor as hard, and oxygen reaches your muscles and your brain far more efficiently. A study from Vanderbilt University found that adults over 65 who consumed green tea regularly had a 32% lower incidence of cognitive decline compared to those who didn't. 32%, just from a drink. Here's why this matters so specifically for you. After 60, your blood vessels naturally lose elasticity. They become stiffer, less responsive, like a garden hose left out in the sun for too many summers. The EGCG in green tea has been shown by researchers at Japan's National Institute of Health and Nutrition to partially reverse that stiffening at the cellular level by reducing something called AGEs, advanced glycation end products, which are essentially the biological version of caramelization happening inside your artery walls. The preparation matters enormously here. Brew your green tea at 175 degrees Fahrenheit, not boiling, because boiling water destroys up to 40% of the EGCG. Steep for exactly 3 minutes. Let it cool slightly. Then drink it in the late morning, around 10 or 11 a.m., which is when your body's cortisol rhythm creates the optimal window for vascular absorption. The synergy tip: squeeze in fresh lemon juice. The vitamin C in lemon has been shown by researchers at Purdue University to stabilize EGCG in your digestive tract and increase its bioavailability by up to 13 times. 13 times from a squeeze of lemon. Now we're entering the top 2. And I need you to stay with me because what's coming at number 2 is something most doctors have never mentioned to their patients, and the science behind it is nothing short of astonishing. Number 2 is hibiscus water. Yes, that deep crimson flower you may have seen dried in bulk bins at a natural grocery store or steeping in a Latin market. Hibiscus. And what the research reveals about this flower's impact on blood pressure and arterial function in adults over 60 is something that, in my honest professional opinion, should be common medical knowledge, but somehow isn't. A clinical trial published in the Journal of Hypertension, and I want you to pay very close attention to this number, found that adults with mildly elevated blood pressure who drank 3 cups of hibiscus tea daily experienced an average reduction in systolic blood pressure of 13 points over just 6 weeks. 13 points. That is comparable to the effect of some prescription medications. Comparable. Without the side effects, without the cost, without the dependency. Hibiscus works through several mechanisms at once. It contains anthocyanins and organic acids, particularly hibiscus acid, that behave as natural ACE inhibitors. ACE inhibitors are one of the most commonly prescribed classes of blood pressure medication in the entire world. They work by blocking an enzyme that causes your blood vessels to constrict. Hibiscus does something remarkably similar through entirely natural pathways. On top of that, a study from researchers at Tufts University found that hibiscus reduced LDL cholesterol, the so-called bad cholesterol, by 22% in adults over 60 across a 12-week period. Let me tell you about Robert, 74 years old, from Phoenix, Arizona. Robert was on 2 blood pressure medications, and his cardiologist had recently begun discussing a third. Robert was frustrated. He was scared. He felt dizzy in the mornings, exhausted by mid-afternoon, and he told me his quality of life felt like it was slowly slipping through his fingers. We added hibiscus water to his routine. 2 cups daily, 1 in the morning and 1 in the early afternoon. After 10 weeks, Robert's cardiologist was so surprised by his numbers that they reduced one of his medications. His energy returned. His dizziness resolved. And Robert told me something I will never forget. He said, "Dr. Lee, I feel like I got 5 years of my life back." For preparation, use 2 to 3 tablespoons of dried hibiscus flowers. You'll often find them in Latin grocery stores labeled as Jamaica. Steep them in 8 ounces of hot water for 5 to 7 minutes. Let it cool. Do not add sugar. If you need a touch of sweetness, a small amount of raw honey is acceptable. The synergy tip here is powerful. Pair your hibiscus water with a small piece of dark chocolate, 85% cacao or higher. The flavanols in dark chocolate and the anthocyanins in hibiscus work through complementary vascular pathways. And research from King's College London suggests this combination may enhance nitric oxide production, the molecule responsible for relaxing and widening your blood vessels, far beyond what either compound could achieve alone. One important caution. If you're already on blood pressure medication, please talk with your physician before adding hibiscus regularly, because it is genuinely potent and your dosing may need to be adjusted. That is not a legal disclaimer. That is real medical guidance, because this actually works. Now, number 1, the moment I promised you at the very beginning of this video, the drink that Harvard-affiliated researchers connected to a 38% reduction in arterial stiffness in adults over 70. Are you ready? Number 1 is beetroot water. Fresh or powdered beetroot dissolved in water is, in my professional opinion, the single most powerful evidence-backed vascular tonic available to any adult over the age of 60. And most people walk right past it in the produce aisle without a second glance. Here's the science, and I want to explain this carefully because I want you to truly understand what happens inside your body when you drink this. Beetroot is the richest dietary source of nitrates found in any commonly available food. When you consume those nitrates, your body, specifically beneficial bacteria, on the surface of your tongue converts them into nitrites, and then your bloodstream converts those nitrites into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is arguably the single most important molecule for vascular health in the human body. Think of it like WD-40 for your arteries. When your body produces enough nitric oxide, your blood vessels relax, widen, and become more flexible. Blood flows freely. Oxygen reaches your muscles and your brain more efficiently. Your heart pumps with less effort. A study from the University of Exeter, one of the leading centers in the world for cardiovascular exercise science, found that older adults who drank beetroot juice before physical activity were able to sustain that activity 16% longer before fatigue. 16%. That is not a small margin. For a 72-year-old climbing a staircase, carrying groceries in from the car, or trying to keep up with a grandchild in the yard, 16% is the difference between managing and truly thriving. But here's what makes beetroot uniquely critical after 60. Research published in the journal Hypertension found that our natural nitric oxide production declines by approximately 50% between the ages of 40 and 70. Half of this critical molecule gone. This is one of the primary reasons blood pressure tends to rise with age, why cognitive function fades, and why physical stamina drops so dramatically. Beetroot water isn't just a lifestyle add-on. It is genuinely replacing something your body has already lost. The Harvard-affiliated research I mentioned, conducted through the Brigham and Women's Hospital Research Network, specifically examined arterial stiffness using a measurement called pulse wave velocity, considered the gold standard for measuring how flexible your arteries truly are. Adults over 70 who consumed beetroot extract daily showed a 38% improvement in pulse wave velocity after just 4 weeks. 4 weeks, less than a single month. For preparation, you have 2 excellent options. Option 1, juice 2 medium raw beets and dilute the juice with 8 ounces of water. Option 2, more practical for most people, use a high-quality beetroot powder, 1 to 2 teaspoons stirred into 8 ounces of water. Look for powders with no added sugar or artificial flavors. The timing here is critical. Consume your beetroot water approximately 90 minutes before your most physically active period of the day, whether that's your morning walk, your gardening, your physical therapy session, or simply your errands. This gives your body enough time to convert those nitrates into active nitric oxide. The synergy tip for number 1 is the most powerful of everything we've discussed today. Pair your beetroot water with vitamin C. Orange juice, kiwi, bell pepper, Any high vitamin C food eaten alongside beetroot dramatically enhances nitric oxide stability, meaning the nitric oxide your body produces from those beetroot nitrates lingers significantly longer in your bloodstream. Researchers at the University of Pennsylvania found this combination produced measurably greater blood flow improvements than beetroot on its own. One practical note: beetroot will turn your urine, and sometimes your stool, a reddish color. This is completely harmless. It's called bituria, and if you're not expecting it, it can be alarming, even frightening. So I'm telling you now, do not panic. It is the pigment. It is not blood. You are perfectly fine. In fact, you're better than fine. You're giving your vascular system exactly what it has been quietly asking for. Now let me bring all of this together, because I don't want you to walk away from this video with just a list of drinks. I want you to walk away with something far bigger than that. After 60, the decisions you make about what enters your body carry more weight than at any other time in your life. Not because it's too late, it is never ever too late, but because your body is now asking for more thoughtful support than it used to. Your blood vessels have been working for 6, 7, 8 decades. They've carried you through stress, through joy, through grief, through decades of meals, through the wear of time. And they are still working, still pumping, still fighting for you every single second of every single day. What I've shown you today, coconut water, tart cherry, green tea, hibiscus, and beetroot, these are not miracle cures. They are your body's allies. They are compounds that speak the language your aging vascular system understands. And when you give your body these tools, something remarkable begins to happen. People get their energy back. They reclaim their independence. They stop feeling like passengers in their own lives and start feeling like drivers again. That is not a marketing phrase. That is what I have watched happen with real patients, in real time, over many years of practice. Your independence, your mobility, your mental clarity, your ability to travel, to play with your grandchildren, to wake up in the morning and feel genuinely good in your own body. These things are not gone, they are waiting on the other side of better choices. And today, just by watching this video, you took a real step toward them. If this video gave you something valuable today, please subscribe to this channel, because I'm here every single week with research-backed guidance designed specifically for your body, your stage of life, and your goals. Share this video with someone you love who is over 60, a sibling, a spouse, a friend, a neighbor, because this information deserves to reach the people who need it most. And now, I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 drinks are you going to try first? Coconut water, tart cherry, green tea, hibiscus, or beetroot? Leave it in the comments below. And if you're already using any of these, tell me about your experience. Your story might be exactly what another viewer needs to read to take their first step. I read every single comment. I'll see you down there, and I'll see you in the next video. Take good care of yourselves. This video is for educational and informational purposes only, and is not intended as medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult your physician or another qualified healthcare professional before making changes to your diet, medications, or health routine.